Hi, good afternoon. I'm Donna Pimerida, BPE2. Now I'm going to continue the report of Miss Rogo Education, Section 5. The state shall protect and promote the rights of all citizens to the quality education at all levels. Article 14, Section 5 clearly mandates the state to assign the highest budgetary priority for education. However, despite these institutional guarantees, current performance indicators show a dismal picture of the quality of education in the country. Participations rates have worsened, dropout rates remain high, and the Philippines continues to perform poorly in both national and international assessment tests. According to the Department of Education, DepEd, the congested curriculum is partly to blame for this bleak situation. The DepEd claim that forcing in 10 years a curriculum that is learned by the rest of the world in the 12 years has been quite a challenge for both Filipino teachers and students. The Philippines is now the only country in the Asia that has a 10 years basic education cycle and one of the 3 remaining countries in the world one, together with Djibouti and Angola of Africa that retains a 10 years free university education system. As a response to this issue, the DepEd is pushing for the passage of a law that will implement the so-called K-12 program, which will institutionalize preschool and add 2 more years of the high school in the country basic education cycle. However, in light of the Thai fiscal situation of the mounting demands coming from all other sectors, the increasing cost of living and additional burden that these measures will entail, particularly for households, it is important to determine whether K-12 is a vital and critical program that needs to be pursued. The state of Philippine education, despite efforts by the government to make basic education accessible to all, lack of access to quality education remains a major policy concern. The Philippines, a signatory of the Millennium Declaration, has committed to achieve the goal of 100% net enrollment rate by 2015. However, there is a low probability that this target will be met given the current trends. This is my report entitled Language. When we say language, it refers to the codes and symbols used by the particular speech community in both written and spoken form to facilitate the conduct of any discourse that contributes to the smooth functioning society. The national language of the Philippines is Filipino, and it must be learned further than other language evolves within the country. English is provided to facilitate instructions and further communications. Other language such as Spanish and Arabic shall be promoted on a voluntary and optional basis. Researchers must be led to develop and preservation of Filipino and other language. I agree to the part of this article that as a Filipino, every citizen must be a master of his or her own language, English. I agree to the part of this article that as a Filipino, every citizen must be a master of his or her own language. English must be a must for every Filipino for globalization. It opens communication to other places around the world. I suggest that at early age of the students, especially in their primary years, additional Asian language must be taught because we are part of the content. On December 2007, Philippine President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo announced that Spanish is to make a return as a mandatory subject in all Filipino schools starting 2018. Last June 2009, the Spanish language was included in the curriculum of secondary schools as an elective. The 15 pilot schools were selected by the DepEd Regional Office based on main percentage score in English, ability to provide substitute teachers to take over the classes of teachers in training, and the ability of classrooms and support facilities and equipment. Science and technology. Science and technology are essential for national development and progress. The state has to give priority to research and development, invention, innovation, and their utilization, and to science and technology education, training, and services. It must support indigenous, appropriate, and self-reliant scientific and technological capabilities and their application to the country's productive system and national life. As I read the article, it says that the government should invest heavily in science and technology development as well as education to lay the foundation for the country's long-term progress. Sulita Monsud, a University of the Philippines economics professor and the Director General of the National Economic and Development Authority during the Aquino government, made the pitch for science and technology as awards were given to 10 of the government's outstanding scholars in the field. Munsod lamented the perennial low budget of the government for the research and development R&D, despite its potential as a key to the country's economic growth. Science and technology is about the most powerful tool, probably at least equal in education, and addressing the problems of development, said Munsud. Unfortunately, like education, science and technology in the Philippines is not really given the importance that it should have. She said that at the event making the 50th anniversary. This is the reality that happened 2 years ago and today. Nothing changed. The government has its personal undertakings why science and technology cannot be given priority. Advancement and development of a country lie in research. Many Filipinos have potentials in this field, but the government cannot support them. Researchers go abroad to get support in other country that benefits in their intelligence. May the next president of the Philippines set behind personal intentions to see clearly what our country really needs to move on and start going further for global development. As one of the response of the DepEd to the continuous development in the area of science and technology, the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, take its part in the research activity for manpower development and planning. Projects to continuously upgrade the research capabilities of science and mathematics teachers are undertaken. Grants are provided to teachers proponents who develop successful modules and or instructional materials to improve the learning of the science and mathematics in the schools. The result of the research projects are documented, published, and distributed as ready reference materials for the teachers. That could be all. Thank you.